be honest, I don't quite know where to start this morning. The capital city's newspaper this morning runs a picture of the Mayor Tory Whanau with the headline, in quotes, "We are all human." Yesterday afternoon, Tory Whanau, the Mayor of Wellington, a well-known dipsomaniac, issued a statement saying she recognised basically blah, 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 I've got problems with the booze. Nicola Young, councillor, is going to join us to talk about this later, but I just need to lay it out for you because mainstream media don't want to tell you this story. They just want to protect the reputation of our addict mayor. 2 Saturdays ago, I think it was November the 18th on the afternoon, a very pleasant bar called Havana Bar in the Cuba Street area of Wellington, opposite the Lighthouse Theatre. A group of men went to have a drink there, as you do with your mates on a Saturday afternoon. While they were there having a drink, they noticed a group of, I understand, 3 women who appeared to have been there for a while as well and to be somewhat intoxicated. In the fullness of time, one of those women came and approached the men uninvited and was, let's say, very friendly towards them, including placing her head in the crotch region of one of these gentlemen. I understand it was an uncomfortable situation, but there was a bit of booze flowing. He managed to extricate himself and at some stage later found himself in the men's toilets of the Havana Bar when this person apparently pursued him into those toilets and other interactions took place. Surprised at what was unfolding in this bar, this man's friends got out their phones and then they realised that the drunk woman who was making advances to them was the Mayor of Wellington, Tory Whanau. And much of the incident was caught on camera, on cell phone, as is likely to happen in these days. I now understand, and I have heard from multiple sources in Wellington, that video is, if you like, doing the rounds, because it's scandalous, isn't it, to have the mayor of your city who's already been in trouble for skipping a bill and getting pissed and saying, do you know who I am? It's scandalous, isn't it? And if you're a Wellingtonian and ratepayer, you'd want to know about it. And doubtless, I'm going to be accused of running this story and being interested in this story because Tory Whanau is a Māori woman, a wahine toa. That's BS. This story is important. She is frequently absent from important council meetings. She will only talk to pre-approved media who are part of her lefty circle. She has spent $50,000 of the ratepayers' money on a meaningless witch hunt by Labour-lovey lawyer Linda Clark into some other councillors actually speaking their mind. And now her reputation as a booze hag is further enhanced by her behaviour at the Havana Bar. I might note that the co-owner says, oh no, she was fine, there was no problem. Well, I would suggest that the video suggests otherwise. We are joined now by Wellington City Councillor Nicola Young. Nicola, thank you for joining us. And look, I'm going to be frank with you, I haven't seen this video. God, I've heard so many people last night who have. I need to ask, have you?
I have not. I have spoken to people, or people have rung me about it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. The series of events as I described them, would that be what you have heard?
Pretty much, yes. There are a few versions, but pretty much. But, you know, the thing is, the mayoralty isn't a job for someone with active addiction issues. And, you know, Wellington has so many issues at the moment, and we need a leader who's focused on the job 100%. So, you know, someone we can rely on if there's a crisis, someone who can deal with our problems of rocketing rats and leaking pipes, not someone who's distracted by personal issues.
Does it breach the code of conduct?
I'm subject to a code of conduct complaint, which of course we have ignored. The code of conduct, yes, absolutely it does. It's all about not leading the city into disrepute and acting with dignity. But the code of conduct is meaningless. It has no teeth. But, you know, the mayor has herself expressed misgivings about her judgment, and her behaviour has become an embarrassment for Wellington. Mm. And people, I'm getting feedback that she's lost people's trust and confidence, and the city is losing its lustre. So I think it's impossible for her to stay in public office. I think it's better to cut the painter, and we need to find someone who can lead the city, because I'm concerned about the reputation of the council and the loss of trust and confidence with ratepayers and voters. You know, Wellington deserves better.
All right, so you'd have a mayoral by-election under those circumstances?
Yes. And, you know, it's a mess.
Yeah. We were originally going to talk this morning, before all this blew up, and I had all these people ringing me and telling me about it. We were originally going to talk about Terry O'Neill, the councillor who, with her mates last Friday, put up pictures, dick pics, literally, of Winston Peters, David Seymour and Chris Luxon as a penis, which Tory whānau seemed relaxed about and wouldn't say anything about. I note this morning that a spokesperson for the council has said that council staff have been told to take those posters down if they come across them.
Yeah, look, it's a complete disgrace. You know, Terry, she's in her early 20s, I think. She chairs one of the council's most important committees, social, cultural and economic. How can she represent us on a government level and be taken seriously? But she's unapologetically attacking the people in government from whom we need to get a good deal for the city. I think she should be resigning from that committee.
Yeah. Are you amazed at the media coverage of this?
Well, I'm just interested that the most interesting part of the mayor's statement hasn't been repeated by any of the media.
And what was that, Nicola?
There was no sexual activity.
Well, I wasn't going to go... Well, and she said that, so it's open slather. We've invited her on. The suggestion was that she performed or tried to perform fellatio on one of these men.
Look, I wouldn't know.
But it's interesting she issued a statement saying... Basically, I didn't perform fellatio on him. Would you agree with the former Mayor, Justin Lester, that Tory whānau is a wonderful ambassador for Wellington?
No, I wouldn't, because she so rarely goes to any events. I mean, she doesn't go to things, and even sometimes she has things that she's in her diary that she says she's gone to, and she didn't go to them.
What about her attendance at council meetings?
Well, we haven't seen her for quite a few weeks, really. She comes in by Zoom mostly. I mean, it's been just over a year since she's been the mayor, and I think I've had a 5-minute conversation with her. She doesn't really talk to councillors.
She doesn't really talk to media that she doesn't like either, Nicola. Don't take it personally. And if this were any other mayor, any other politician, if this was Aaron Gilmore, they'd be gone by lunchtime. And she seems to have a free hit from Wellington's woke media and is not going to resign or step down.
It's just so sad for Wellington, because it's the reputation of the council is at stake, and, you know, voters and ratepayers have lost their trust and confidence with the mayor and the council, and Wellington deserves better. We have so many issues, and we need a mayor who's 100% focused on the job. But there's no quick fix for alcoholism.
Yeah, well, there seem to be other issues as well, and and this is clearly self-destructive behaviour. Nicola, you're going to be accused of not liking her because she's a successful young Māori woman.
Well, she's 40, so that's not that young. Yeah. And what's the definition of success?
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you can do as a councillor? And how can you continue to be a councillor on a council that is run by someone who behaves like this?
Just getting on with going to things, getting involved, answering people's, concerns, doing what I can. I'm just getting on with my job as a councillor. I mean, this is a sideshow that we just don't need, but it's very sad for Wellington. And sometimes you have to make a big, tough decision about your career, and I think it's time for her to realise this is not working for her, and it's not working for Wellington. All
right. Do other councillors share your concerns?
Yes. And I've been inundated with emails and text messages. I can't believe it. I mean, my phone is exhausted by it.
Nicola, thank you for coming on this morning. This can't be an easy situation for anyone. Do you think the public also need to know what went on? Do you think we have a right as ratepayers?
I think people have got the rough idea. They don't need to know anymore. I think it's all a little bit tawdry, and we just need to have Tory to accept that she's let Wellington down and she's let herself down. I'm sure she realises that.
I thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. That is Councillor Nicola Young, Wellington City Councillor. So there it is. Wellington is being run by a drunk, a self-admitted drunk with addiction issues, who has been involved in highly questionable behaviour, which if she had been a man probably would have led to accusations of sexual assault and criminal activity. Imagine if this was Wayne Brown. If Wayne Brown was going around oogling, groping women in a bar or in the women's toilets in a bar. And this video is doing the rounds. I haven't particularly sorted out, but I know a lot of people have seen it. And something, I hate to say it, I'm not being a prude, and I think primarily for Tory, who strangely enough, I first met at the Havana Bar in the year 2017 during the election campaign. And I've been out on the lash with her a few times, and boy, she can knock it back, but at some stage in the evening she just loses it, and it's pretty ugly. And it seems really strange, by the way, Roger Young, who came out, the part owner of Havana, they were fine, they weren't drunk. Then why did Tory Whanau issue this statement saying, I've got an alcohol problem? Because she was trying to get ahead of a very bad story with the connivance of her media mates and her lefty mates in Cuba Street. I'm also just going to say, I want to reiterate, I sent a text to Tory Whanau. In fact, I'll read it out to you now. When I became aware of this story, which was all over Wellington yesterday, and particularly last night, I said to Tory, Tory, the platform will be reporting the details of an incident involving you at the Havana Bar this month, tomorrow morning. I want to give you every chance to tell your side of the story and invite you to contact me prior to our program tomorrow. And she came back, hey, mate, I'm not giving media on this. Well, that's funny. You're on the front page of the Post. But chat soon. What do you think, New Zealand? That your capital city's been run by a drunk. The Mayor says nothing sexual took place. The Mayor also said, and here's a really interesting thing, I'm a thought person. I care deeply about the city, and I really regret that the video came out. Would have been fine if the video hadn't come out, because then you could have just denied it, couldn't you? I haven't sought out this video. I don't particularly want to see it, but I know enough people who have, and I think, and in the absence of the Mayor explaining exactly what did happen, and because she is a public figure, I am more than within my rights as a journalist to present the information I have in the public interest. Sean, breaking news, Tory Whanau has COVID and won't be attending meetings this week. Yeah. She's been quite unwell and will be working from home. This has just been announced by her Chief of Staff, Nadine Walker. Ben, can we try and get Nadine Walker on the phone, her Chief of Staff? What a load of BS. Tory, just resign or take a sabbatical. Tory Whanau has been no friend of the platform, even though I have known her personally. She's been part of quite nasty little cliquey cabal of leftist, Greenie and Labour people, all centred around Jacinda Ardern, Andrew Campbell, who was Jacinda Ardern's communications advisor, former head of the New Zealand Student Union. Sean, my son has seen Tory out on the, well, I'll use the thing, piss many times in Wellington. He reckons she's scary, takes a wide berth.